Somewhere out there, right now, a well-dressed insurance agent is sitting across from a client, telling a 25-year-old that whole life insurance is the smartest decision they'll ever make. That agent isn't lying exactly, but they're not showing the whole picture either. There's a number they almost never bring up in that entire meeting. A number that over your lifetime could be worth $200,000. Today I'll show you where that number comes from and why it exists. And why nobody's selling whole life wants you comparing it to index funds. First, let's understand what whole life insurance actually is, because most people don't. Whole life insurance is permanent, it covers you for your entire life. Unlike term life, which covers you for years and then simply expires. Part of what you pay builds up something called cash value inside it. This cash value grows slowly over time, and you can borrow against it. On paper, that sounds incredible: insurance and investing wrapped into one package. That's exactly the pitch: it's insurance and investing in one, they say. But here's what that pitch conveniently leaves out of the conversation entirely. Whole life insurance is expensive, not slightly, but dramatically expensive comparatively. For the same coverage, it can cost 5 to 15 times more monthly. A huge chunk of that extra money doesn't go toward your investment. It goes to fees, agent commissions, and the actual cost of insuring you. For many policies, it takes 10 to 20 years to break even. You could pay in for 2 decades and barely break even on paper. Compare that to term life, which is incredibly cheap for young, healthy people. And index funds, which historically grow steadily over long periods of time. This is where the real comparison between the two actually begins. Let's run real numbers. This is where the gap starts appearing. Say you're 30 years old, deciding between two very different paths. Path 1, whole life insurance, paying roughly $300 monthly. Path 2, term life insurance, costing around $30 a month instead. That's a difference of $270 every single month. Instead of losing that difference, you invested into an index fund. Over 30 years, at an average return of 8 to 9% yearly. That monthly investment could grow to $300,000 to $400,000. Meanwhile, whole life cash value, after fees, grows to a small fraction, often landing around $100,000 to $150,000 total. Do the subtraction, and the gap can easily exceed $200,000. Same monthly budget, completely different outcomes over the same 30 years. So if the math is this lopsided, why does whole life get sold? Simple: commissions. Agents earn far more selling whole life than term life, sometimes equal to most of your entire first year's premium payment. It makes more sense for the seller than it usually does for you. That doesn't make every agent dishonest, many genuinely believe in the product. But you need to ask harder questions, since the incentive isn't neutral. Now, to be fair, whole life insurance isn't a scam or always wrong. There are specific situations where it genuinely makes sense for people. If you have a permanent dependent needing lifelong financial support, it helps. For certain estate planning or business succession strategies, it serves a purpose. For some high net worth individuals, the tax treatment plays a strategic role too. But for the average 25 to 40-year-old protecting their family and growing wealth, whole life is rarely the optimal choice for either goal individually. This brings us to the actual myth: combining insurance and investing is efficient. It isn't. Doing two things in one product usually means doing both worse. Term life does one job, protecting your family, extremely cheaply. Index funds do one job, growing your money, quite efficiently too. Combined into whole life, you're not getting the best of both. You're usually getting a mediocre version of both, wrapped in complexity. Hard to understand, hard to compare, and expensive to exit early from. So here's the simple framework, if you're deciding what to actually do. If people depend on your income, buy term life insurance instead. It's cheap, simple, and covers your working years when protection matters most. Then take the money you saved compared to whole life insurance. Actually invest it into a diversified, low-cost index fund every single month. Let time and compounding do the heavy lifting over many years.
This strategy is called buy term and invest the difference in finance.
It's been around for decades because the math holds up consistently.
If you have a sophisticated situation, consult a fee-only financial advisor.
Someone not earning commission off whatever policy they recommend to you. Now someone will say, what about whole life never expiring, though? That's fair, term life eventually runs out unless you renew it.
By the time most term policies expire, kids are typically grown up.
Your mortgage is often paid off, and savings have built up too. At that point, you often don't need life insurance anymore at all.
The insurance was never meant to be permanent for most people, honestly.
It was meant to bridge the gap until you didn't need it. So the real takeaway, whole life insurance isn't evil, nobody's really scamming you. Combining insurance and investing sounds efficient, but the math says otherwise.
$200,000 isn't small, that's a house down payment. That's years of retirement, built by choosing the boring, unbundled strategy.
If you currently have whole life insurance, don't panic and cancel today.
There can be tax consequences, talk to a fee-only advisor first.
But if you're deciding what's next, now you know the real number. Drop in the comments, were you pitched whole life in your 20s? I want to hear what they actually told you during that meeting.
If this helped you see the math clearly, hit subscribe right now.
Next week, another financial product that quietly costs people a fortune.
I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.